The larger Mount Kenya region has close to 7 million registered voters in this country. Those 7 million votes cannot go to waste in 2022. They will have to count. So Central Kenya and the larger Mount Kenya region lazima wajipange. Because so far nobody has actually emerged as a possible presidential candidate from that region. Lazima wajipange. And that's how I wanted to look at the meeting which took place yesterday at the Thika Greens resort. That meeting is about 2022. Don't be cheated. And don't be cheated about the headline, which was in the Daily Nation, that is either the presidency or nothing. That headline was intended to achieve specific political objectives. And also, don't get me wrong, that meeting yesterday did not discuss 2022 politics. I've confirmed that from a post by Moses Kuria. I've confirmed the same from a post by Wambugu Ngunjiri. And I've confirmed the same from a post by Dennis Itumbi. Those three gentlemen belongs to different camps. Dennis Itumbi is an extreme supporter of the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto. Wambugu Ngunjiri is an extreme supporter of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And Moses Kuria is now falling under a new category which is emerging in Central Kenya called the moderates. All these three guys are in agreement that 2022 politics was never discussed at the Thika Green Resort. But I want to confirm to you that the ultimate objective of that particular meeting, which several others will be held, will only be geared towards 2022 political objective. And I want to go through a post by Dennis Itumbi, because Dennis Itumbi has summarized every other thing of what really transpired in that meeting. But in my view, that meeting was a roadmap which these guys are going to follow. And it's very simple. The first thing they are trying to do is to unite the region. So how do you unite the region? We know so far that Central Kenya is currently divided. There are those who are in Tangatanga and there are those who are in Keleweka. So how do you unite these people? You unite them through a strategy, two strategies. The first strategy is to grant them access to President Uhuru Kenyatta. All these other guys who are rebelling against the president, talk of Ndindi Nyoro, talk of Moses Kuria, talk of Alice Wahome, they had only one complaint, that they could not access the president whenever they wanted. And because they could not access the president, the deputy president on the other side was readily available. So these guys started going to the deputy president and all their problems were being sorted. And that's how the bond between them grew. So from that meeting, these guys are going, you'll start seeing some of these guys meeting with President Uhuru Kenyatta. So that's the first strategy. The second strategy is that these guys are going to be given more development in their regions. Remember, Central Kenya has so many ghost projects. And I'm going to demonstrate that using a post which Dennis Itumbi posted. So they are going to be granted more development in their regions so that they can be swayed to side with President Uhuru Kenyatta. So basically they are going to unite. After that, after they are united, after Mount Kenya is united, then now they are going to identify a political figure. So they are going to identify someone and make him the new leader of that region, because President Uhuru Kenyatta has made it very clear that he's going to retire. And lastly, once they identify that person, then they are going to use it to negotiate for the Central Kenya and the larger Mount Kenya region. That person could be President Uhuru Kenyatta. It could be Peter Kenneth. It could even be Mwangi Kiunjuri. It could even be Moses Kuria. But ultimately, they are going to identify one person and declare that person now the leader of the larger Mount Kenya region. Assuming they'll maintain Uhuru Kenyatta, then now they are going to use that person to negotiate. So this person can decide that we are going to support William Ruto as a community or as a region. They might then decide to support Raila Odinga as a region. Or again, they can decide not to support William Ruto and Raila Odinga. And because of their numbers, they can then decide to support, let's say, Kalonzo Musyoka or even Musalia Mudavadi. And that's why I've always advised on this platform that a united Central Kenya and the larger Mount Kenya region today is not good for both the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto, and also not good for Raila Odinga. Just like a unity between Ruto and Raila is not good for Central Kenya. So if Central Kenya will be united, it means they can decide not to support Ruto, not to support Raila Odinga, after gauging that these guys have decided to go to the ballot. Once they do that, and with their 7 million votes, they can then decide now whether to support Musalia Mudavadi or talk to Musalia Mudavadi to deputize Kalonzo Musyoka. So it will be just like that. But what I know for sure is that the meeting at the Thika Greens resort never discussed politics. But it was not a church function. It was not a development function. It was not an economic function. It was not a business function. We didn't see business people in those meetings. The people we saw in those meetings were actually political leaders. And there was also one thing which was clear, that the extreme supporters of the deputy president were not invited to this meeting. That tells you that this meeting was intended to achieve specific objective. I want to challenge you to go to Wambugu Ngunjiri's Facebook page. He has posted details responding to the Daily Nation article. So he has posted something there. Just go there, read his mind. Then go also to Moses Kuria. And of course, you all understand that whenever Central Kenya meets, there's always issues. People always complain. But you never see people complaining when Lawyer meets. You never see people complain when Luos meet. You never see people complain when Kalenjins meet. So why is it that whenever Central Kenya or the larger Mount Kenya region meets, people always complain? Now let us go to Itumbi's post, because there is where we can get the strategy of these people. Dennis Itumbi is one of the allies of the deputy president William Samoei Ruto. And Itumbi claimed yesterday that he was invited to this meeting. And again, when news emerged that 60 members of parliament attended that meeting, Dennis Itumbi again disputed and claimed there were only 30. 30 is not a small number. If you want to start a journey, unaanza na watu wadogo, watu wachache. That's exactly what's happening here. Let's go to Itumbi's wall. Dennis Itumbi is saying, good morning. Let us help some people who are trying to weave narratives. Now he's actually responding to the headline by the Daily Nation, which says it's president or nothing was Central Kenya, Mount Kenya. So he's saying, number one, no politics was discussed at Thika Greens. Probably no politics was discussed there. I agree with that up to that point. Because even Moses Kuria, even Wambugu Ngunjiri also stated clearly that no politics was discussed there. But I've never seen a political meeting where politics is not discussed. Probably that was also a strategy of allowing more people again next time to come, so that you don't start a meeting with politics. It can be sabotaged. So that was the first thing. Number one, he's saying. Number two, he's saying, in fact, only 3 main people spoke. Embu Senator Njeru Ndwiga, National Assembly Majority Leader Amos Kemunya, and PS Kibicho. So according to Tumbi, those are the only 3 people who spoke at that meeting. I don't know what they talked about, but it's only those 3 people. Remember, when President Uhuru Kenyatta held the meeting at the Sagana State Lodge, a week later, Team Tangatanga retreated to the home of Njeru Ndwiga and dismissed some of the resolutions of that meeting. But after that time, up to now, Njeru Ndwiga has been trying to make a comeback to the side of President Uhuru Kenyatta. So he's the one who spoke. He's a senator. So which means he spoke on behalf of senators. Then, Kemunya now spoke on behalf of members of parliament. Remember, Kemunya was made the majority leader at the National Assembly. Strategically, that was done to elevate him so that whenever a meeting is held in Central Kenya or the larger Mount Kenya region, Kemunya now becomes the leader of the team. Number 3 is saying, only 30 MPs attended, mostly Kileweke affiliated and others considered moderates. What I don't understand with Itumbi's post is, at what point did Central Kenya decided that these guys are Kileweke, these ones are Tangatanga? Of course, that's known. But where was this idea of moderates? Because in Central Kenya, you've never seen moderates. Moses Kuria, who is now being considered a moderate, was the convener of this meeting. You can now understand that these guys have started branding or rebranding Moses Kuria from an extremist to a moderate. So Moses Kuria is now being considered a moderate. Cecil Mbarire also attended this meeting. Mbarire was actually kicked out of the House leadership because of being a member of Tanga Tanga. Now she's being considered here a moderate. Jerry Ndwiga, who hosted Tanga Tanga in his home, now also considered a moderate. So it tells you that the people convening this meeting have made a decision that we are going to go for people who support us and those we can convince, or those who are still undecided. And that's why Alice Wahome, Ndindi Nyoro, and the group, Susan Kika, were locked out of that meeting completely. And number 4 is saying the main message was that the office of the president, OP, is open for MPs from Mount Kenya region. And that's exactly what I was telling you there. These guys are going to be granted access to that office. Karanja Kibicho has been one of their biggest problems. They've always accused Karanja Kibicho of every other thing. So beginning tomorrow, the office of the president is going to be opened to these guys. So they'll start accessing the president. You will start seeing most central Kenya leaders meeting with President Uhuru Kenyatta. If you go to the office of the president, you'll start meeting some of them along the corridors there. Something which was not happening before. You'll start seeing them lining up to meet Karanja Kibicho. So, and because that's where the center of power is, some of these guys will change their minds. Number 5, Itumbi is saying, the 5th thing which was discussed there, is that the second message was that Andrew Wakahiu, the CEO of the Presidential Delivery Unit, was available to deal with all ghost projects in the region. So it means if you guys have been supporting the UT president because of the projects, which these guys then sabotaged, if that can be a term, or he launched without considering whether funds were available, then a list was going to be prepared. So basically, most of the members of parliament who attended this came up with a list that project A, B, C, D was launched 2016. Up to now, nothing has happened. So they're going to come with those lists because the president also was very clear at some point that no new projects was going to be launched. So new projects are not going to be launched until these other ones are completed. So these ghost projects, some of which were actually in the portal of lies, Jubilee portal of lies, for those who remember that portal, are now going to be completed. So utapeleka to the guy, mwambie hii project iko kwangu, it was started this time, mpaka saizi the project imekwama. So what's the way forward? So a way forward is going to be provided. So number 6, Itumbi is saying, the third message, now that's message number 3, was that Wilson Njega, the current Secretary Internal Security, is the contact person security matters. So if there's security issues in central Kenya, then you'll not be dealing with the Karanja Kibicho. Karanja Kibicho will not be dealing with the big matters. So he has assigned a specific individual to deal with the issues of securities concerning the people of central Kenya. So again, it's another way of working very closely with these people. So you bring them together. That's how politics is supposed to be played. Number 7, Itumbi is saying, the story carried by the nation was crafted by some people who think they can dictate how we will vote. The first call I got from Nation was at 3:45. That was 22 minutes before any MP arrived at Thika Greens. So are you trying to get what Itumbi is saying? That headline is intended to achieve specific political objectives. If you go to Wambugu Ngunjiri's statement, he's also alluding to the same. But Wambugu Ngunjiri is actually blaming the deputy president as sponsoring that headline. Now let's go to number 8. No, he has ended it there. No, number 7, he made them twice. But now number 8, he's saying, clearly a planted narrative. Why? I have told you many times to know the truth of a story. Look at who has been quoted. So Itumbi is going here and mentioning those who have been quoted severally. And at number 8, he's saying, none of those quoted spoke of fielding a presidential candidate. The story relies 99% of those who did not attend. So according to Itumbi, those who attended this meeting, none of them never talked about 2022, which is okay. Number 9, the meeting agreed there would be another meeting on Saturday 26th. Initially, it was crafted as a radical meeting, but in the well-crafted game of perception, chose to attend. But in the well-crafted game of perception, chose who attended today were argued to attend the Saturday meeting too. So Itumbi is alleging that there was a game of perception, that the list, not everybody was invited to this meeting, just a few. So Itumbi is alleging that those who attended were actually told to attend the next meeting. And by next week, I'm sure, if the number were 30, the way Itumbi is saying, then in the next meeting, these numbers are going to increase. Number 10 is saying, my question is, what is secret about development? When will there be a secret meeting at Thika Greens for coastal people? When will there be a secret meeting on development of northeastern people, or Turkana, or Luo Nyanza, or Ukambani? Are the sub-cabinet committee meeting not enough to guarantee development? Anyway, nothing will happen in the closed-door meetings at Thika Green that will not be published here in full. Fresh games ahead of the alleged unveiling of the BBI report within the next 10 days, just before the president flies to Paris, France. So Itumbi, based on what Itumbi is claiming here, is aware that the meeting, which happened at the Thika Greens, are actually part of a strategy to stop the deputy president. And he's saying nothing will come and nothing will happen in those meetings without them knowing. One more unrelated extra details. Mashujaa Day will all remaining constant. Itakuwa Kisi, 20th October 2020. From the Hustler Nation spokesness. And I've always maintained that Itumbi speaks for Hustler Nation. But the fact of the matter is that this meeting at Thika Greens is basically about 2022. In the next meeting, they'll start talking about politics. Or probably they'll wait, the organizers will wait until so many people are in it and embrace it. They'll start seeing development in their area, access to the president, and then now they'll go full blast. And this is why the one vote, one man, one shilling campaign in central Kenya was about bringing the entire larger Mount Kenya region together. I don't know what you think. Let me read your thoughts on this.